Environmentalism is a political ideology based on the belief that nature is a singular whole, including humans, non-humans, as well as the inanimate natural landscapes in our world. To put it simply, this ideology is a reaction to the industrialization of our world. For starters, environmentalism is an ideology which rejects humanism and anthropocentrism, beliefs in the superiority of humanity over all other living creatures, meaning that their needs and interests are above that of those creatures. Instead, most environmentalists heavily sway towards a belief in ecocentrism, a theoretical belief which gives priority to the maintenance of ecological balance rather than the achievement of human needs. Environmentalism also incorporates an interesting thinking methodology known as systems thinking. This views living systems as integrated wholes, all intertwined together with differing relationships, which end up forming our world. This ideology also preaches the concept of sustainability, the capacity of a system to maintain its health and continue to exist for a long time. It believes that modern society's notion of wanting greater material wealth and economic growth leads to immense exhaustion of its resources and, subsequently, the depletion and destruction of nature. UK economist E.F. Schumacher advocated Buddha economics as a solution, the abandoning of large-scale growth and instead aiming for a smaller-scale livelihood. It would be just enough for us all to enjoy a prosperous life while achieving sustainability. Environmentalism, using post-materialist beliefs, also despises the materialist and consumerist nature of our world. The generation of greed this caused, as well as the increase in desires, ends in more being produced, which depletes more of nature's resources. Furthermore, materialism isn't actual happiness. According to environmentalism, it's through the process of self-actualization that we reach full joy. In this phase, people have a sense of oneness with all other forms of creation, leading them to prioritize aspects like morality, political justice, world peace, and animal rights. There are a few different types of environmentalism, and we'll be starting with reformist or modernist environmentalism. The reformist aspect of this sub-ideology stems from its combination of a plethora of things: advancing ecological principles and promoting environmentally sound practices, all without rejecting the central features which form capitalist modernity. Another key feature of reformist ecologism is its recognition of environmental limits to growth. This means that the increased CO2 emissions, exhaustion of non-renewable resources, and pollution all threaten prosperity in the long run. Thus, this led many countries to adapt sustainable development goals. Sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising or hampering the future generations' ability to meet their own needs. It embodies two primary concepts: the concept of need, particularly the pivotal needs of the world's poor, as well as the concept of limitations of the environment to meet future and present needs. How this primary goal is achieved involves what the UNICEF calls the 3 A's. Awareness about all global issues that SD seeks to solve, subsequently prompting action by all sorts of people and institutions, which hinges on the enforced accountability of all global leaders to achieve sustainable development goals. These SDGs, hoped to be achieved by 2030, include gender equality, affordable and clean energy, responsible consumption and production, and no poverty, to name a few. Interestingly, reformist environmentalism is ideologically influenced by both conservatism and liberalism. Inspired by the former in its belief of green capitalism, consumer power pressuring firms into using eco-friendly production methods as a result of the capitalist market mechanism, and by the latter in its enlightened anthropocentrism, focusing on humanity's long-term goals and favoring higher pleasures, such as the natural world, over lower pleasures, such as material consumption. Our second type of environmentalism is eco-socialism. This is the socialist branch of green thinkers. It believes that capitalism is the root cause of nature's destruction, Eco-socialists believe that the capitalism's historical persistence on industrialization and its continuous prompting of private property all commodify nature, making humans believe they are the masters of nature, exploiting and destroying it for their own gains. Naturally, eco-socialism also believes socialism is its natural ally. Next up, eco-anarchism is a very interesting read. Both anarchism and environmentalism echo each other in plenty of ways. Firstly, both ideologies despise human rule, whether it be the anarchist rejection of government within a human society or green thinkers' belief in natural order occurring through ecosystems which don't have human intervention either. Thus, it's clear to see that both ideologies care deeply about the principles of balance and harmony. Furthermore, anarchists heavily advocate for decentralized societies, organized through a collection of villages or communes. These would be much smaller in scale than modern-day cities, way closer to nature, and as such would have a high degree of self-sufficiency. Such communes would contain agriculture, craftwork, and small-scale industry. Ecofeminism is a branch of environmentalism which believes the environmental issues we face today are a result of the rampaging patriarchy in our society. They believe the subordination of both women and nature, thus having men view themselves as masters of those two aspects, has caused the suffering of both women and nature. Ecofeminists believe women are intrinsically linked to nature. Seen through the fact that they bear children or suckle babies, women are on a similar wavelength to nature as a whole through these natural processes. Finally, the most complex form of environmentalism is deep ecology. Its distinctive belief is that anthropocentrism, in all its forms, is offensively invalid to the principle of environmentalism. From its main theme, deep ecology has brought about an evolution in philosophy and morality. Deep ecologists view nature as the source of moral goodness, as an entity deserving of its own massive respect, regardless of the benefits it brings humanity. Subsequently, deep ecologists subscribe to biocentric equality. It is the principle that all organisms in the biosphere are of equal worth, without one having an advantage over the other. This type of thinking has given birth to a new set of metaphysics too, a branch of philosophy concerned with understanding existence or the state of being. These philosophical ideals include the adoption of an ecological or cosmological consciousness, one that would help diminish the inner distinction between nature and mankind. Deep ecologists seek to achieve multiple goals. Firstly, preservationism, preserving nature and wildlife just the way it is, with minimal human impact, is among the most realistic and heavily sought after goals by deep ecologists. Deep ecologists also heavily encourage simple living by achieving self-actualization, a spiritual fulfillment allowing the ascension above materialism and egoism. The sub-ideology has also coined the concept of bioregionalism, which includes the reconfiguration of human society into naturally defined regions for them, without interfering with bioregions. Deep ecologists also believe that the biggest way to save our planet is through population control. They insist that nature would continue to suffer unless the human population saw a decrease. They believe this can be accomplished by not giving aid to developing countries, the stopping of immigration from undeveloped to developed nations, and by stifling the birth rates in developing countries. Needless to say, these are all heavily contentious points. Having briefly discussed the different dimensions of environmentalism, it's clear to see just how varied and influential this ideology is. What I quite enjoy about this ideology is that, regardless of where you lie on the political spectrum, it's clear to see that all sides of the coin consider climate change a critical crisis that humanity must face head-on. So what do you think of environmentalism? And which branch of environmentalism are you the biggest advocate for? For further readings on this topic, check the description below for all the references of this video. If you're interested in this type of content, why not like, share, and subscribe?